Hello, Mooncrafters. Welcome. This is Craft a Moon. Today, we're stepping into some powerful currents in the sky. We are looking at the upcoming full moon in Scorpio arriving soon. This isn't a quiet moment. A full moon is always a peak of energy, a time when the light of the sun fully illuminates the moon, bringing things into view. This one feels particularly intense, like a bright light shining on what's hidden, on the deep stuff, both out in the world and right here within us. It asks us to look at what is beneath the surface, what we usually keep tucked away. It's a moment of reckoning, a time when the shadows are brought into the light, demanding our attention. In this video, we're going to break down the energy of this full moon. We'll talk about the tension it highlights, the push and pull between different forces, and where we might feel challenged or pulled off course. We'll explore the places where power dynamics show up and how our own desires can sometimes feel like they're calling the shots, even controlling us. We'll look at a significant pattern in the sky involving some major players and what that means for how things are unfolding, both personally and on a wider scale. But it's not just about the challenge. We'll also uncover the path this full moon opens up, a path toward deep release and a deeper sense of compassion. We'll look at the journey the moon takes right after the peak, showing us how to move through this intensity with more intention and grace. We'll explore how the energies shift, guiding us from confrontation towards healing and building a more compassionate reality. If you're ready to navigate these potent astrological energies with more awareness, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps this message reach others who might need it. And if you're new here or haven't yet, please subscribe so you don't miss out on future astrological guidance. To my returning viewers, it's always good to have you here. You can also find more resources and insights on my website, ryan-hunt.com. There are guides and tools there to help you understand your own chart and how these energies play out for you. It's a place where you can find support for your personal journey through these cosmic tides. So let's get into this full moon picture. A full moon happens when the sun and moon are standing directly across the sky from each other in opposite zodiac signs. Imagine the sun casting its full light onto the moon. This brings things to a head, often revealing what's been building or brewing since the new moon 2 weeks prior. It's a moment of culmination, peak energy, and sometimes big emotions. Things that were hidden come to light, and what was growing in the dark can now be fully visible. It's a time when the emotional tide is high and we can feel things more intensely. This particular full moon finds the moon in the zodiac sign of Scorpio, directly opposite the sun in the sign of Taurus. Think of this axis, Taurus and Scorpio, as dealing with what we value and what makes us feel secure. Taurus is a sign of comfort and pleasure, and Scorpio is a sign of depth and mystery. Taurus is about the solid material world, our resources, our sense of stability, what we own, what brings us comfort and peace. Taurus is grounded, steady, focused on building and preserving. Across the way is Scorpio energy, which is all about transformation, depth, hidden things, secrets, power, and letting go. It's a dynamic dance between the solid material world we build and own and the unseen forces that shape it. The power struggles, the truth beneath the surface, the cycles of ending and beginning, depth and rebirth. Scorpio wants to dig deep, uncover, and transform. Now, when the moon is in Scorpio, it's often described in traditional astrology as being in its fall. This isn't a judgment, it's just a description of how the energy flows. The moon is naturally about our feelings, our comfort, our sense of security in daily life. She likes things to feel stable, predictable, and safe. She is the nurturer, seeking comfort and ease. Scorpio is intense, private, wants to dig deep, uncover secrets, and merge energies. This isn't the moon's most comfortable place. She prefers things feeling stable and clear. In Scorpio, things can feel complex, hidden, emotionally intense, and sometimes a little out of control. It asks the moon to go places she might rather avoid, to face the shadows, to feel everything deeply. It can feel unsettling for the moon to be here, exposed in the deep, dark waters of Scorpio, far from the solid ground she craves. On the other side, the sun is in Taurus. Taurus is a sign where the moon is traditionally said to be exalted. This means the sun is in a place that naturally supports and lifts up the moon's energy. The sun in Taurus is grounded, steady, focused on building value and finding peace. So while the moon might feel exposed or vulnerable in Scorpio's deep waters, the sun in Taurus is sending her a lot of steady, grounding energy. It's like the sun is saying, I see your depth, your intensity, and I appreciate the value you bring, even when it's uncomfortable. I'm here, solid ground, while you navigate those deep feelings. This setup creates the foundation for this full moon, a tension between wanting to hold on, build, and find security, Taurus sun, and needing to transform, face the hidden, or let go, the Scorpio moon. With the sun offering a steady light to the moon's intense emotional state, it's a powerful push-pull between the desire for stability and the need for change. This fundamental opposition sets the stage for the intensity of this period. But the picture gets more complex and dynamic here. We see a significant tension forming a large square pattern involving the sun, the moon, Mars, and Pluto by whole sign. In astrology, a square is an angle that creates friction. It's like two forces pushing against each other, demanding attention and often action. It's not always easy energy. In fact, it can feel quite challenging, but it's where we often see the most movement and growth because it forces us to confront things, to make choices, to change direction. It's a point of tension that requires resolution, a place where energy builds until something has to give or shift. In this setup, we have the sun in Taurus and the moon in Scorpio in their opposition, full moon, and both of them are squaring off with Mars in Leo and Pluto, which is currently moving backward or retrograde in Aquarius. This forms a powerful cross of energy, a dynamic tension that pulls in multiple directions. It's like standing at a crossroads where different powerful forces are pulling you simultaneously, demanding you find a way to balance or navigate them. Let's look at these players and what they bring to this pattern. Mars is the planet of action, energy, will, desire, and conflict. Think of Mars as the warrior. He's the force that drives us forward, asserts our will, and engages in battle, whether internal or external. He brings heat and drive. In Leo, Mars is bold, wants to express power, assert its will dramatically, and be seen. Mars in Leo wants to lead with courage and flair, often on a grand stage. Pluto is the planet of transformation, power, endings, and rebirth. Pluto is the transformer, the force that breaks down the old to make way for the new, sometimes called the Lord of Death, because it deals with ending cycles. But it isn't always about making space for new life to emerge from the ashes. Pluto operates on deep, often unseen levels, bringing about fundamental change. In Aquarius, Pluto is bringing deep structural change to groups, society, collective ideas, technology, and how we connect with each other on a large scale. It's transforming our collective future and how we relate to the wider world. This square pattern creates a powerful push and pull. It points to a configuration where energies are being drawn towards centers of power. Authority figures, systems, governments, and even personal desires are pulled into a struggle for control or influence. Think about situations we see playing out in the world right now. Shifts in power structures, conflicts at borders, discussions around who holds authority and why, changes in how resources are distributed, battles for dominance. These external dynamics often mirror the internal struggles we face. Where do we feel powerless? Where are we trying to exert control? Where do we encounter conflict within ourselves or in our relationships? This square highlights the tension inherent in these struggles, bringing them to the surface for us to see and address. It's a reflection of the intense power dynamics at play, both globally and within our own lives. Within this larger square, Mars, the warrior, and Pluto, the transformer, stand in opposition to each other by whole sign. Their dance highlights conflict and power struggles at a fundamental level. When planets form these challenging angles, especially the outer planets like Pluto and personal planets like Mars, it's like a signpost pointing to the themes that are active now and will continue to unfold. It's not just about big global events. It's about where you feel these power dynamics playing out in your own life. Where do you feel pushed or pulled? Where are you encountering conflict or facing intense transformation? Where are you being asked to assert your will, and where are you being asked to surrender control? This opposition between the warrior and the transformer creates a field of intense energy, a battleground where fundamental forces are clashing, demanding that we confront issues of power, control, and change. Let's look closer at the moon's position in this square. The moon in Scorpio is in what's called an inferior square to Mars in Leo. Without getting too technical, think of it like this: a square with Mars. The moon usually prefers to be in a position where she has more leverage to assert her needs and direct the energy. But in this setup, Mars is in the stronger position relative to the moon.